So, final question, because you've learned a lot over the years, and I especially really love the mental health confession because it's valuable for all of us, you know. And obviously, everything that you have gone through must have established some sort of structure, right? Or a way that you approach starting a new business. So, I'm wondering, when it comes to the Kidato School venture, has it been easier because of everything that you've seen?
No,
Okay.
no. Just because you have clarity doesn't make it easier.
Okay.
Just because you have more knowledge in the sense of building a startup, just because you have a larger network of people doesn't make it easier. You're just stronger.
Okay.
And just because you're stronger doesn't mean it's easier. If it's 40 kgs to lift in the gym, it's still 40 kgs. Doesn't matter whether you're weak or you're strong. 40 kgs doesn't change to be 40 kgs just because you know it's 40 kgs or you've lifted 20 kgs before.
Yeah.
You still have to push it. You become stronger in handling the situation. Yes. Nothing gets easy. I mean, literally, I could live here and find myself in a very difficult situation in the office that I have to solve
Yeah.
today, or I may not be able to solve. You know, I mean, and you know, the world is such that it doesn't make things easier for you. You know, you become stronger or you don't. This is how I find the universe to be. You're either strong or you're not to deal with the situation. The situation does not change. Events happen. They
Right.
happen as they happen. It's up to you how you frame and reframe the story in your mind on how to approach the event, or how you imagine, you know, if the event is about to happen and you have anxiety over it, then the event is 10 times worse than it actually is. You mentioned earlier that you had to leave a previous job to start this. The period between the two, the reason you're doing this now is because you realize it's not as bad as it
Yeah.
whatever. But if somebody else had sat down and gone like, oh, this is the worst thing to ever happen to me, then they would have just, you know, they would have, as we said, their ambitions would have died, their mental health would have died. It doesn't necessarily mean physical body dying. Something would have died in them.
Yeah.
But the fact that you reframed your mind and thought, you know what, I actually have more time, I have experience, I have skills, I have, you know, a really good phone book, I can call different people, I could do this. It's how you perceived what happened to you that changed how you approach it.
Yes.
So no, it's not easier.
Okay.
It's not going to be easier. It's just because you've given birth 2 times doesn't mean the third child will take 2 months. They'll still take 9 months. They'll still cry. They'll still be taken to the clinic. You still have sleepless nights. You still have to educate them. You still have to worry about their health, their well-being, all of that. It does not change even if you have 100 kids.
Right.
It will not get easier. You'll just get stronger because you can anticipate the challenge and frame your mind on how to deal with it.
Right.
So literally, as we're going through life, I guess the question becomes that, oh, you will get your car scratched. Of course, it's either you come out angry wanting to fight, or you go like, oh, cars get scratched. That's it, you know. So okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go clean our cars and wash them. You pay my bill, I pay your bill. Okay, or insurance pays, great. It's a difference with the person who comes over and now they want to get in. Is how they frame that event that has happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in my view, it's not going to be easier building Kidato as it was building Nylab. I'm just stronger. And it's not going to be easier if I start a new startup tomorrow. Yes, I'm just stronger.
Right.
Okay, in doing that. And every startup follows its own pattern. An online school, a hybrid school, because we're hybriding because of socialization and sports, a hybrid school like Kidato has never been built across Africa. It's the first one. There are no white papers to read. There are no books to read. There's no courses to take. We are the ones writing the books and the courses and the white paper.
Right.
Yes. Which reminds me, we didn't talk about what Kidato is exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
So what is it? How does it work? And how do we join?
Great. So Kidato, the best way to describe Kidato is that it's a hybrid school, okay, that provides academics online and socialization and sports offline to provide a holistic approach to education. So Kidato has multiple products. On one arm, it has got the K-12 school. K-12 stands for kindergarten to year 12. Okay, so that's primary and secondary school.
Okay.
Then our second product is online clubs. Okay, these online clubs are, you join online clubs and now you can mingle with other students and choose. From the online clubs, you can choose what we call pods now. Right now, we have a STEM pod.
Okay.
Science, technology, STEAM. Science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Okay.
And these pods, we provide courses for you. So the child can come in and they can study sciences, And from sciences, they can come to, we are building a lab, they can come to our lab right now, and for 2 hours on a Saturday, do all the experiments with sodas and dissection and litmus test.
Wow.
And so they get an immersive science experience. And so they start thinking of themselves as scientists.
Yeah.
So we target 6 to 18-year-olds, right, on the children courses. So if it's technology, you come and start with Scratch, you go to HTML, and you can build your own websites. From engineering part, we teach them robotics, so you can work with your hands and build things. And then art, of course, is art, and mathematics is mental math, and all of those things. And our focus is to ensure that first, from the clubs, forgetting the online school first, because that's academics, on the after-school enrichment programs, is to ensure that kids are having such a beautiful experience around learning, that learning is not something that ends, it's a lifetime experience.
Right.
So our objective here is to create curious and confident children who eventually become extremely independent. Okay? And in the very early stages, we want these children to know what they want to do, what makes them happy, what gives them balance. Okay, and automatically then that can be seen in their A's and B's when they do the academics, okay, which is the normal subjects in a school. And so we have the second product, which is those clubs. The third product we have is what we call nano courses now.
Okay.
These are short, expert-driven, cohort-based courses for adults. We're talking about Wayua is running a podcast, and we can have a class on how to successfully build a podcast business, have a class on how to successfully manage your personal finances. We can have a class on how to learn a new language. We can have a class on how to organize yourself so that you're able to take amazing holidays. So there are things that enriches their parents' lives, the kids that go to Kidato, or just adults.
Right.
So Wayua can come in and run a class on anything she's an expert on, how to build your marketing plan properly for different types of businesses. And there's a lot of people who want to take these short courses. The best part about them is that they're not like Udemy, they're not pre-recorded or Coursera, they're live and they're short. So it's 4 classes, very impactful, hands-oriented. By the time you're done, you've literally improved your business massively. I teach in that class, Adults Startup Academy, how to build a startup from idea to fundraising, all the way end to end. Kenon Mwiti, who is an expert in finance, teaches personal finance in the same class, and we have a lot of other people teaching art and other things. So we offer this to adults on our platform as well, because our platform works for children, it works for adults extremely well.
Yeah.
And of course, so the other products we're developing right now. So back to the online school. How does it work? Classes start at 8, end at 2:30. Normal class schedule. Okay, you log in on a platform, you have a beautiful dashboard, you have your timetable, just looks like a calendar timetable there, Google Calendar. When you click, you see all the classes and you see your classmates, and when you click, you join a class. Our classes are very small, 8 students per teacher. So you're all on Zoom, and then the classes are exciting for students. Okay, they're fun, they're engaging, and so they're interacting with each other. They have a 10 o'clock break, lunchtime break. They end at 2:30, sometimes at 3. Literally, our students spend 4 hours and a half in class. A normal student in a brick and mortar school wakes up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock to get on the bus. A Kidato student wakes up at 7:30, has breakfast, and is in class by 8.
Yeah.
So literally, we are saving 2 hours of sleep for them. So kids need to rest. Again, if the kids don't rest, this is why they're irritable, they're angry, they don't pay attention in class. We remove bullying. Bullying in school usually is not necessarily being pushed on the corridors. It's when you're seated in a class and you lift your hand and people giggle, people pass notes. You're comparing your shoes to the other student's shoes, your bag to the other student's bag. You're hearing stories of where they went for holiday, and you can't afford that holiday. Your self-esteem starts to dip. When you're just, a part of you is being seen on the screen, everybody is equal. All you can do is try to help each other. There's no bullying. Actually, when a new student joins Kidato, their class is 7 and there's an 8 student. They have 7 friends immediately. Because all they do is this is what you do with them, this is how you submit your assignments, this is how you submit your diaries. So in our platform, after end of every class, teacher sends assignments out, kids have to submit their assignments, they have to scan what they need to scan, they have to email what they need to email, they have Google Drive, so they're extremely tech enhanced. They use Slack for communication, workplace tools. That's how they do it. And then they can choose clubs and join sports or STEM, the STEM pods, and they can do those ones later.
Right.
We do our international exams we partner with other schools right now. We've already done international exams twice. Literally, we are teaching the British curriculum. And from here, you can go to any university in the world.
Okay.
So there's, it can be done like that. Our offline campus, which a lot of people refer to nowadays, is just a small space where we have a kindergarten and year one.
Okay.
Because we do prefer students starting online year two. So since we had a big office space, we decided let's run a kindergarten and also learn how to run a school, which has become very successful. We've learned a lot. It's a beautiful space, but it also serves as a social function for the students.
Yeah.
So every Friday we have social Fridays, every other Friday where students come, and now we do the immersive part of learning. They go to Ngong Hills and go to the power stations and get to be told. They go to a planetarium and they get to have science. They go to Mobius and see how a car engine is made and how all the things are fixed. So there's a schedule. They go to a tea factory. They go to a farm. So unlike me, who went to Jodhamo once in 8 years of school, these kids have already done more than 10 trips to different, so we have factory visits that are scheduled. We have got other farm visits. We have corporate visits that are scheduled. We can bring them here to see how to do a podcast. So they have a visual of what they're seeing.
Right.
The best part, again, I will just throw this out to you, of an online school is the fact that if you're going to teach geography, imagine there's a difference between the student who's taking notes in class and the student who is using Google Earth with the teacher to explore, the Mediterranean Sea, the Pacific Sea, the Atlantic, I can never say that word correctly, or the Sahara Desert. They're able to visualize it, see it, have a sort of a personalized experience around it, while they're still taking their notes. The other kid in a brick and mortar school is taking their notes, and all they can do in their head is imagine what the pyramid looks like.
True.
The one in an online school is actually not just seeing the pyramids or the catacombs, they're having a virtual experience through it in class. They're seeing the structures, they're walking through it using, different tools that we employ. It's a difference of retention.
Yeah.
If you ask one kid 3 months later, what is the Pyramid of Giza? They'll tell you about all of those things. And when you ask another student, they'll be like, oh, it's those things in Egypt, and they're drawn like this.
Yeah.
This one knows what it looks like, knows where it sits. They can zoom out. They can calculate the distance from where they are to where that pyramid is. They know exactly where it is in the map of Africa because they have visualized it, seen it. Yes, so kids get to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
One of our biggest challenges are the holidays because kids cry.
They don't want to.
They don't want. I think there was midterm last week, and I remember Monday morning this week, my son was so happy to go back to school.
Oh, wow.
It was so exciting to see that. And even when I meet parents over the midterm last week, they're like, oh, my kid is asking when we're opening school, when they can come back to school, or when they can do this, when they can do this. And so it's fun to see that education is no longer a pain for a student who go to Kidato. It's something they really enjoy doing.
Right.
And the underlying motto about that, where you are, is turn the main thing into a plaything and the plaything into a main thing. So if you're doing maths, make math playful. If you're playing Minecraft, make Minecraft educational. Okay? Yes. And so in that sense, a child isn't able to differentiate whether they're playing or learning because the experience is the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am so going to apply that to my son and his own journey with his education.
Finally, let me just add one thing. How do kids keep time? Do you need an extra house help? You don't. When you show up in class on time, you get daughters. These are merits. We call them daughters now, starting next week. And these are virtual currency that you can actually trade off in the near future.
Okay.
You can buy things that you need, Minecraft skins, all of these things that you do. So you literally, we have implemented a financial model on your learning experience that shows you show up in class on time, you get some merits. Submit assignment on time, you get merits. Help your friends in class, you get merits. Teach something new in class, get merits. All these categories of things. And when these merits are actual virtual currency that you can go ahead and claim and pay for a science club or pay for something else within the platform using the things you've earned. So you can use them to buy a new course. You can use them to buy a virtual good or actual physical good. Okay. So these are the things we're implementing going forward, making sure that the learning experience is also coming from the child's desire, because they're like, wow, if I go to class right now and I do these quizzes and I submit my assignment terms, I'll get these merits. I can use these merits at the end of the year to trade off for this thing that I've really been wanting. And so learning becomes also a process of teaching them the discipline and ethics of work. Yeah. Okay. Because as a grown-up, when you go to school, most of us didn't know what we were doing in school until campus. Okay, they couldn't associate the education with real-life outcomes. True. Okay, but if you can do that for kids from as young as 7, 8 years old, they can associate their learning from real-world outcomes. They can buy ice cream, they can buy a toy from their learning and from their doing their work. then you're really enhancing their learning experiences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. Where do we find your campus if we're looking for an on-site visit?
You just Google Kidato Campus. It's in Lavington.
Okay.
That's where we are at. But if you go to our website, you just click. You can download the school fees brochure, or you can actually book a free consultation meeting.
Okay.
If you're unsure whether this is something that works for your child or not, and that's super acceptable. If you don't find it works for your child, most of the things I hear from parents are, "Oh, my child really likes the socialization part." I'm like, why don't you try it out and see how much your child will actually like this structured socialization we have?
Yeah.
Is you can come for a trial class. You can take a trial class. A week, your child can join us for a week, and if they like it, you can stay. If they don't like it, you can literally just take them back to the school they've come from.
Yeah.
And so we do have trial classes. I don't think there's a school that gives trial classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might take you up on that.
Please do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the very talented, very wise, very experienced Sam Gichuru. If you want to find out more about Kidato School, please feel free to use those handles and contact details that you see in front of you. And in the meantime, thank you so much for your time.
It's been an honor.
And we will see you all next week for another one just like this one.
Thank you.